Welcome back to In Ohio Country today, and we're at beautiful Neptune, Ohio for our friends at United Equity. And joining me now is Brent Schlegel, and Brent is an area salesman for Seed Consultants, one of the fine people that United Equity works with. And Brent, let's talk a little bit about what's happening here today. But before we get started, let's talk a little bit about your background on the farm.
My background on the farm is I pretty much came right out of high school and worked at the local co-op for 15 years. And then I've been with Seed Consultants for the last year and a half, almost 2 years here in December. And prior to that, I was an independent consultant on my own for 5 or 6 years. So I did scouting and soil sampling for local customers.
You know, when you talk about that kind of work, you're definitely boots on the ground and getting to know the farmers. And let's talk a little bit about the area that you cover, mainly Northwest, West Central Ohio, and the type of agronomy that you run into on an annual basis.
Well, a lot of it's, dealing with putting hybrids and stuff on varieties of soils and stuff like that. But, weed control, in the last couple of years, we've had probably a huge issue with water hemp, and it's becoming a major issue. And, we had the mare's tail issue, so picking varieties and soybeans and corn that we can treat with the proper chemicals and stuff to hopefully control those better is what we try to go after.
Let's talk about today's event. We've got farmers that are coming in. United Equity's putting on a nice little presentation to be able to show, demonstrate if you will, the variety of seeds that you have here today. Let's talk about this particular event today and what you hope to accomplish.
Yeah, so this is the second time I've been to this event. Last year was a little rainy on us. This year it's a little warm, but that's okay. This is what makes grain. But today, yeah, we'll go through the soybeans and we'll go through the corns. Soybeans, we got maturities from 2.8 all the way up to 3.8. The nice thing about the soybean plot here is we have our Roundup lineup with some Extend lined up, so we're going to be able to see if there is a yield advantage on those Extend soybeans, like a lot of businesses or companies promote. And then on the corn, we'll go from 103-day maturity all the way up to 112. The best part about what we're doing here today is that they do have some competitor lineups in here, so it keeps us honest, and it keeps it, when Seed Consultants is promoting their seed, we're talking about value. We want to have simply the best value in the industry, and we do, but we've got to also make sure we have the best performance too.
What kind of questions do you normally get from farmers at an event like this regarding the products that you have to showcase here tonight?
Well, a lot of it's going to be the Extend issues and stuff that we talk about with chemical problems and stuff like that. Other things are going to be, the disease tolerances on corn and soybeans. How can we control these crops into the later seasons without having to spend a whole lot of money on chemicals to control diseases and stuff like that. So. But back to the thing I mentioned before is going to be weed control. Are we going to go Liberty soybeans? Are we going to go Extend soybeans? Are we going to switch with Roundup? So with my background, it's kind of neat just because of the fact that I get to dive into the chemistry a little bit side of it too, and also talk about our products and what performs the best.
When we talk about the chemistry, one of the important things that farmers and, of course, anybody who watches this show is involved in is the environment, and talking about the types of products that are going into the soil, types of seeds, and what kind of impact that has on the environment. Can you talk a little bit about that with the products that we're seeing here tonight?
The focus is that making sure we're not overdoing it. I mean, we want to be able to control what's going into our water systems and water streams. I think that's what you're referring to. But we got to be able to control so we can produce the best crop we possibly can.
Well, let's talk a little bit about those products more specifically. What do we have out here tonight that our farmers are going to get a chance to see in these demonstration plots?
Well, we've got quite a few new varieties of corn coming out. We've got our old reliable 10HR43. That's 30% of our corn sales for Seed Consultants. It's been a consistent number since 2013. We've got some varieties that we need to look at, and we're always looking for those better genetics and the better producing products. So we're always testing, and field days like this and test plots like they have here are key in order to make us make sure we're on our toes, make sure we're on our game, to make sure that we're bringing the best products to these growers and to United Equity to give to their growers. So,
how often do you get a chance to do these kind of events, and the results after an event like this? Do you go back and compile those results for the next event? Or what's the process with these events and how they work into your studies?
Well, the key is that when we get the results off these trials, that we share them with as many people as we can, because especially like this plot here where we've got some competitors' products in here, we just want to make sure that when we talk value that we're also talking performance. So if we can prove our performance, then the value speaks for itself. So it's key to get these numbers and make sure that we're getting them in front of as many growers as we can to show them that we have the value and the performance.
When you get a chance to travel throughout the state of Ohio, and I know you're kind of located to a specific region, but what do you see as far as the different varieties and the impact that it has in the different soil types here in the state of Ohio? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, some of the things that I like to focus on is coming from the consulting side of it, is that the most important thing we can do for a crop is get it out of the ground as fast as we possibly can. So picking a genetic that can do that across multiple soil types, because there's not too many areas around this area that you can go to the same field and have the exact same soil type across the whole field. Right. So you got to be able to pick those varieties that can produce on both types of soil types. So that's key. And then my other big thing coming from the consulting side is disease resistance and being able to limit how much we have to spend, because in today's market, where the markets are, we don't have that much flexibility, but just spending a bunch of extra money and not knowing what our return is. So those are kind of key to me in these areas. So.
What about the varieties and what their impact is as far as getting them in the ground and getting them harvested with regards to the weather? I mean, what kind of flexibility do you have with those types of products, and maybe even the products when our farmers are out there double cropping soybeans?
Well, the flexibility that we need to give ourselves, and I'm hoping I'm answering this properly, is the fact that we need to widen our choices, our varieties, so we're not putting all of our eggs in one basket. Because I think we all agree, and we can all agree, that Mother Nature controls a lot of what we do in the farming world. So we just got to be able to put it out there, give it our best effort, and then let Mother Nature control us from there. But not putting all your eggs in one basket as far as one variety, or that's why we go from 2.8 maturities to 3.8 in these plots, so that we can test them. Even though we know every year is a little bit different, we've got to give it the best potential to do the best for us. So.
Well, we know your job isn't from just planting to harvest. It's a year-round job for you. So maybe even discuss a little bit about what you're doing after harvest and getting ready for the next planting season. What are some of the activities that you're involved in?
So we'll have winter agronomy meetings for growers and United Equity and them, that we talk to them about. That's the discussion. You get more into discussions about weed control and disease resistance, stuff like that. We're also at that time, we'll start shipping in November or December into our warehouses and stuff, and getting things lined up, but also being on those sales calls and making sure that we're out in front of these growers. That's key, because service is important. If you got the service, then you got to be able to get to these guys quickly and get them what they need as soon as they can.
I think you're finding the same thing that we notice with our farmers, is the fact that, education is the key to taking your farm to the next level. And you guys are all about education, making sure they have all the tools they need and all the information they need to make the right choices, right?
Yes, because it's all part of the customer service part. If you got being here for those customers or being here for the growers is a huge important step into making sure they're comfortable and that we're giving them value and performance.
So if our farmers want more information about Seed Consultants, where do they go?
They can go to seedconsultants.com, and our website shows you can pull up our products and stuff like that. You can also, access us through United Equity's website.
Fantastic. Brent Schlegel from Seed Consultants has been our guest this evening. Brent, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll be back with more in Ohio Country today, right after this.
Allen Davis Insurance Agency in Wapakoneta and Minster is your solutions provider. You can trust the experienced professionals at Allen Davis Insurance to protect your assets. Call today and start saving money with multi-policy discounts and more for auto, home, life, business, recreational, total farm protection, and more. Call Allen Davis Insurance Agency in Wapakoneta and Minster. We are your solutions provider. Call 1-800-686-2148.
A strong community contains a lot of moving parts. Good jobs, a healthy economy, and maybe most importantly, pride. At Poet, we are proud to be doing our part, creating new local jobs and spurring economic development while producing products that improve lives around the globe. Together, we're not just working to serve our community, but to change the world. And that's something we can all be proud of. See the world differently with Poet.
Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and check out our website at inohiocountry.com. S&S Volvo is your locally owned heavy-duty truck dealership in the area with a full line of Volvo and Isuzu trucks. We offer Volvo, Isuzu, Cummins, and GM parts and service weekdays until midnight until 4:30 p.m. on Saturdays. We also have leasing and rental options to meet your needs. We have the expertise to get and keep you on the road. Stop by at 2600 St. John's Road or visit us at ssvolvo.com to see our wide selection of new and used truck inventory. United Equity Inc. is your locally owned farm-based cooperative. For agronomic services, we offer seed and a full line of dry and liquid fertilizer, as well as soil sampling by soil type, grid, or management zone to best utilize your fertilizer application. Call us to discuss agronomic services customized for you. Reach your best yields with United Equity, serving Allen, Auglaize, Mercer, Putnam, and Van Wert counties. Visit us on the web at unitedequityinc.com.
Welcome back to In Ohio Country Today. Joining me now is Danielle Matthews from United Equity. And, of course, we had an interview here earlier today with our friends from Seed Consultants, Brent Schlegel, and talking a little bit about this farmer patron event that you have here today with Seed Consultants. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so specifically we have two different events just like this, one at our Delphus location that Dan Hain had, and then one here with our Kossuth customers. We use our relationship with Seed Consultants to educate growers not only on the varieties that they need on their farm, but also about weed management and what they're going to need to do in the upcoming years to continue to be successful.
You know, it's important to have that connection with our farmers and especially educating them. And this is an annual thing for you, not only in the fall, but year round. I mean, our farmers need that information to help take their farm to the next level. So let's talk about how this plays into the entire year-round relationship with your farmers.
So we use this as an opportunity to look back on the year that we've had and determine what kind of worked, what didn't work, and where we need to go from here for 2018, 2019, and beyond. We also, like you said, we have some in the fall. Specifically, we're going to have a Fall Agronomy Day coming up that we're going to have 3 speakers at to talk about cover crops, which is up and coming, weed management, and it'll be in Spencerville.
You know, Danielle, one of the things that Brent Schlegel mentioned to us from Seed Consultants is that in these test plots, these plots that they're going to be visiting and discussing today with our farmer patrons, there's competitors out here too. How cool is that? I mean, to have the confidence enough to put your product out there against your competitors, and how great is that for you to be able to display that for your farmer patrons?
Right. We also, the brands that we've decided to put out here, they're actually some that we sell. Seed Consultants is our main focus, but I know guys like diversity on their farm, and they like to make sure that, you know, Seed Consultants is pacing their yield appropriately. So why not a little competition to keep everybody honest?
Well, before we go ahead and let you go, I want to talk a little bit about what you're seeing out there. Kind of give us a little bit of a crop update for what you see here in West Central Ohio with regards to our corn and soybeans.
Corn and soybeans are looking great. I'm noticing a little bit of sudden death moving in, as well as we've noticed a lot of tall beans, which are great, but they're also tending to fall over here. Not any concerns at this point. They still are attached. They'll finish the processes out. Maybe a little harder to combine. But that's all right, as long as the yield's there. Corn-wise, things are wrapping up. I have noticed some ears dropping. The Stay Green is really great. That shows that we've had good health throughout the year. And yield potential is definitely still there. We haven't had too much happen to knock us back, and I hope that continues.
Well, obviously we're a few weeks away from starting harvest for some of our farmers. And, once we get into that time of the year, our farmers are going to be busy. There's going to be a lot of need for a variety of different services that you guys provide. So let's remind our farmer patrons out there what you guys are doing for them to get them ready for harvest and get them through harvest.
So not only right now are we kind of looking to spray wheat stubble, spread fertilizer on wheat stubble. We are available. We sell wheat. If you're looking at putting some wheat crop out, also wheat fertilizer. Definitely look at spraying your corn stalks with 2,4-D dicamba mix to start you out with a clean field going into soybeans next year, and any fertilizer needs that you may want.
Danielle Matthews has been our guest once again here from United Equity in beautiful Neptune, Ohio. Locations located in?
Kossuth, Delphus, Neptune, and Spencerville.
I had to get you on that one. I thought I'd get you on that one. I didn't think I would. And if you want more information, you can always check them out on the web at?
www.unitedequityinc.com.
I'm testing you, aren't I, Danielle? Danielle, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And we'll be back with more in Ohio Country today, right after this.
Closed captioning paid for in part by the following. Are you looking to buy or sell farmland? Then work with a company that works for you. Ron Spencer Real Estate. Founded in 1975, Ron Spencer specializes in farmland, agricultural, and commercial real estate. Check him out on the web with 3 locations to serve you. Ron Spencer Real Estate at rsre.com. That's rsre.com.
Hello once again, everybody. We are still at the Farm Science Review site, the Molly Caron Agricultural Center, and we're visiting with the superintendent of the center itself, Matt Sullivan. Matt, we're standing at the demonstration sites that are very close to the review. In fact, people can take shuttles to come out to this site and see both soybeans and corn. First of all, what all goes on here at the demonstration site, just a little bit more than these 2 crops?
Gary, 2 of the popular events are like corn combine and soybean combine, but there's a lot of other events here as well in the field demonstrations. We have tillage. People can see the latest in tillage, whether it's deep tillage or what we call like vertical tillage. There's nutrient management where they can see spreaders spreading different types of lime, gypsum, biosolids. We also have a precision ag area where they can learn about drones and soil sampling and all the different aspects of precision agriculture. And all day long running during the demos, we're also putting in drainage lines and waterways so people can learn how to drain their farms for optimum yield, but also learn about the best opportunities of like water quality management.
And besides just getting the education, you see the new equipment that's coming on board every year.
That's right. The biggest and the best combines, the biggest and the best tillage, you name it, it's out here in field demos, and you don't want to miss it.
Well, maybe some of our viewers right now are wondering about this corn behind us. What can you tell us a little bit about it?
I tell you what, Gary, I'm going to grab an ear here, and we'll talk about it.
Now, as you rip off an ear, tell us a little bit about the corn itself.
It's a 100-day corn, so it's an early maturing corn. So when the visitors come and see it, it's going to be dry. We'll probably have corn moisture here of about 20 to 25%, which is very acceptable on any farm throughout the growing season. So it's planted the last week of April, and so we've done all of the correct crop management techniques we can. We sprayed it for disease, we sprayed it for weeds, we've put on the correct amount of nitrogen, and so when you can get an ear like this with from the bottom all the way to the top full, it's going to be a good year.
Apparently so. Now, this corn is something that is planted at a particular time so that it is ready for the review. You could have actually gotten a variety that, or a hybrid that is a little bit longer and possibly could be a little bit bigger.
So you're right. About half our farm is dedicated toward the Farm Science Review acres. The other half of our acres are toward production. So this is a 100-day corn. We also plant 112, 114-day corn, a longer maturity. It gives us an opportunity for better yield and to be able to evaluate short season corn and long season corn.
Now, we haven't really talked about the soils here at the review site. We're a little bit, 2, 3, 4 5 miles north of London, Ohio. What are the soils like?
I would call it's a mix of a lot of different soils. When we look at it, as you're driving across the country, you may see soils that are black in color. We have a lot of that here. A lot of people call it Kokomo, Crosby, a little bit lighter soils, Salina. We have a mix of a lot of different soils here. And so that allows us to do some different production practices on each one of those different soils, and using GPS and new technologies in agriculture to change the rate of the planter or change the amount of nitrogen we're putting on based upon the yield potential of those different soils.
Now, when the review comes, people can actually come out here and watch the combines at work.
That's right. As close as we're standing to the combines, the visitors will be a little bit farther away, but you'll be able to see the combines run. As soon as the combines stop or the tillage stops, you can actually walk out, touch, feel, look at the combines and the tractors and the equipment, and see what you like about whatever color it is. And so that's the neat thing about it. We have every major manufacturer here, not only at the Farm Science Review, but out in field demos as well.
So when farmers come here and see what they learn, they can make changes on their own farm.
That's right. We like to think of Farm Science Review as a 360 type of event. You come here and you learn during those 3 days, and you take it home and you learn about it the other 360 days of the year. So this is something that goes on year after year, where farmers come, they learn about it, and they take that technology home or what they've learned and put it on their farm.
Okay, we're going to take a little bit of a break and come back and talk about soybeans.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Back right after this.
Allen Davis Insurance Agency in Wapakoneta and Minster is your solutions provider. You can trust the experienced professionals at Allen Davis Insurance to protect your assets. Call today and start saving money with multi-policy discounts and more for auto, home, life, business, recreational, total farm protection, and more. Call Allen Davis Insurance Agency in Wapakoneta and Minster. We are your solutions provider. Call 1-800-686-2148.
Hello once again, back at the Farm Science Review site, and we've actually just crossed the little road here, Matt, and from corn we go to the bean field, and you're holding a sample of what looks like some pretty fancy beans here.
Gary, they're excellent. We've had good rainfall this summer, and the beans have responded to that rainfall, and we're going to have a really good crop. I would say we're looking at 45 to 50 bushel for early season beans, and that's awesome. Yeah. That is awesome for that early of a bean, and it's for field demonstrations. So we talked about for people coming out and watching harvest and everything, and so when we can have these type of beans, it puts on a good show.
Well, when you have something like this, is this something that draws when farmers know that the crops have turned out very well at the review? Is that an incentive for them to come down and watch the demonstration plots?
Well, what that does is if we have good crops, hopefully they have good crops as well, and that means they're going to have more income. And so when you have more income, you're more inclined to trade equipment earlier or to buy that extra piece of equipment maybe you were thinking about a year ago. So anytime you have good crops, farmers like to buy new equipment.
And of course, as you've said, these are early season crops, and so farmers back home, they don't want to harvest quite yet.
That's right. What we're hoping for is that we're the earliest people being able to harvest soybeans so that the farmers won't be in the field and they'll be able to come and enjoy the review and enjoy field demonstrations and all the other activities that go along with this event.
Okay, the beans that you're holding in your hands, what do they tell us?
When you're looking at them, you can see here you see how big the pods are, Gary. Those are going to be big beans. Big beans mean big yield. We like to have about 3 to 4 beans per pod. Most of these just have 3. Later season soybeans will potentially have 4. If you can get a pod with 4 soybeans, you're doing really well.
Very good. And so farmers, in addition to coming down and watching the harvest of the corn and the beans, can also see something that's new on site. You've improved and are also going to be showing or educating the farmers on the delivery system here at the review site.
That's right. After the soybeans and corn are harvested, the wagons and trucks are going to be going up to to the renovated grain complex. We've put in a new grain pit That will allow us to dump 500 bushel at a time. And one of the other aspects of it is when the wagon pulls up, the augers start automatically. So it improves efficiency, safety, and everything that goes along with having a large grain bin complex. So we're really excited to showcase the new aspects of our grain bin area. And so when they get off the shuttles, the grain bins will be right in front of them.
And the nice thing about the review site, when you're talking about all of agriculture, when somebody has something new like this, you're able to incorporate it into everything that you do here.
That's right. The companies want to be a part of what we're doing here at Farm Science U. So we have a lot of great partners. We have over 40 different partners, whether it's based on agriculture or conservation. So when we look at that private-public partnership, this is where it's at. It's at the Farm Science Review.
So there you have it, out here near the Gwynn Conservation Area, the demonstration plots, and you can get here very easily. Shuttles run here too, Matt, right?
Yeah, shuttles run all day long, all 3 days, and you can just hop on a shuttle, stay out of here as long as you want, and then hop on one and head back and experience the review.
Matt Sullivan has been our guest. Thanks for being with us, Matt.
Thank you, Gary.
And stay with us, back with more right after this.
S&S Volvo is your locally owned heavy-duty truck dealership in the area with a full line of Volvo and Isuzu trucks. We offer Volvo, Isuzu, Cummins, and GM parts and service weekdays until midnight until 4:30 p.m. on Saturdays. We also have leasing and rental options to meet your needs. We have the expertise to get and keep you on the road. Stop by at 2600 St. John's Road or visit us at ssvolvo.com to see our wide selection of new and used truck inventory. United Equity Inc. is your locally owned farm-based cooperative. For agronomic services, we offer seed and a full line of dry and liquid fertilizer, as well as soil sampling by soil type, grid, or management zone to best utilize your fertilizer application. Call us to discuss agronomic services customized for you. Reach your best yields with United Equity, serving Allen, Auglaize, Mercer, Putnam, and Van Wert counties. Visit us on the web at unitedequityinc.com.
Hey, that's going to do it for this week's edition of In Ohio Country Today. Be sure to check us out on Facebook. We have a YouTube channel and more. You can always check out our website at inohiocountry.com. Have a good day, everybody.